Okay, we got mind-blowing VR big screened Beyond 2 from your boy Optimum. Okay, what's going on with VR?
This is peak PC gaming, a set of Corsa racing sim in VR. But there's still room for
Damn, dude, like look at that.
VR.
Like look at this.
But there's
Bro, he's like from the future right here. He's like a character from like Cyberpunk or something. And if this is like pretty small compared to like the thing like a couple years ago where it was like this big old chunking thing, dude. This is tiny. They are getting tinier.
still room for improvement. The Quest 3, for example, has some of the best lenses that I've tried on any VR headset, but it's got a pretty low contrast LCD panel. You get a ton of contrast on this though, the behemoth Pimax Crystal Light. Some of the best specs that you'll find out there, mini LED panels, an unreal audio system. But yeah, this thing weighs over 1 kilo. So then
Okay, 1 kilo is 2.2 pounds. So imagine having 2.2 pounds distributed on your head.
something way lighter, the Bigscreen Beyond 1. This thing is ridiculous.
Ooh,
It
that's
has
tiny.
actually OLED panels as well. It's the most comfortable headset that I've tried. These lenses though are far from the best. As you get towards the edges, they fall out of focus pretty quickly.
Oh, okay. Big screen.
This is the Bigscreen Beyond 2, and it looks like something straight out of a sci-fi movie. I
Yeah.
wasn't expecting that orange at all, but I think it looks
Damn.
pretty sick.
Bro, that looks like the orange at the tip of like a fake gun or something.
It has this really unique pink fluorescent tint to it, which is cool. They're naming it Nuclear Orange, which I think is the perfect name. You can
Yeah.
also go with clear or black.
That's like some Agent Orange.
Black, I wouldn't recommend black personally, just based off of how my original big screen looks. It's scratched up pretty easily. The clear though is really nice. Because of the tooling marks in the mold, it actually gives off some really interesting refractions here and there. But yeah,
Okay.
I mean, this is definitely one of the coolest looking VR headsets on the market.
Yeah, I mean,
this
it's
is
just
the
a
first
cover.
time I've seen behind the cover as well. I could stare at this for hours, just mind-bending.
I mean, we just talked about the cover. I mean, honestly, if these guys keep going, I would say for as far as like cover goes, yeah, it's like interesting, but it's as bad as interesting as you guys remember the clear, well not clear, but like the kind of transparent purple Game Boy back in the day. It had that type of effect, and it wasn't bad, but like it it was just like eh. Like when you're a little kid, it's cool to see like the circuits and the diodes and whatever these things are called because it's like cool technology. Yeah, I could see it. I'm cyberpunk in his bitch. But honestly, to keep this thing like super simple and like normie, like normie, like good enough for normies, I would say just make it do like the Apple thing with what they do with their phones. Just make it one seamless thing, like one color. You can't see the ridges, you can't see any of this. Just one solid color, one piece of plastic or whatever you want to make it, glass, whatever, I don't care. You can't see the seams, no nothing. That would probably be marketing wise your best bet.
Engineering that goes into this, unbelievably cool. On the other side though, there is one big difference. The original Bigscreen Beyond had a fixed IPD, that is the distance between these two lenses. From factory, it could not be adjusted. It was tuned to your own eyes from the face scan that you provide with your order. This also meant though that if you wanted to lend your headset to a
Oh, so this is cool. I did not know this. You'd have to do like a face scan thing in order to like get your eyes right and shit. Okay. That's pretty cool.
friend or maybe sell it afterwards, that next person would have to have the same IPD as you. It also meant that if your face scan was not done 100% correctly, you would get a headset that was made incorrectly. On the new model though, it is completely adjustable. They give you a little tool in the box to mechanically adjust each individual lens, and you've got some markers there to make sure that everything lines up properly. Believe it or not, they actually made this thing even lighter than before. 110 grams just for the goggles by themselves. That is unbelievably light.
Damn, that's like two or three mouses. Well, like heavy wise, because this one's like 40 something. So imagine like three of these just like on your head.
By far the lightest headset on the planet, and 15% lighter than the old one. I mean, even all up with the audio strap and the face cushion, it's still only 270 grams.
Wait, so it'd be like a mouse right here and a mouse like right there.
That's around half a Quest 3 and almost a quarter of the Pimax Crystal. Does that weight really matter though? I mean, if you're doing like Beat Saber and moving around VR stuff, yes, it absolutely does matter. But
yeah,
for what I'm doing, stationary racing sim, pretty much exclusively in VR, it doesn't matter nearly as much. Still some.
Yeah, I mean, because if the whole gimmick behind VR is for you to like move your head and shit as if you were outside actually doing these things, then whenever you're trying to do anything at like a high level, you're going to be like moving your head around like pretty quickly. All right? It's not going to be like, oh, I want to look out the side or the back. It's not going to be slow. Like, yeah, you can like add your eyes in to get like some extra peripherals in there, but if you want to do like anything like competitive, you need to be able to like whip your shit around
Something that you will want to consider though if you're doing really,
without worrying whether or not
sessions.
the thing's gonna
Either
fly off.
Willing to wear a much heavier headset.
Oh,
I mean,
Jesus, yeah, this is like this is like the Sandevistan from Cyberpunk. You put this shit on, it's like I'm ready to fucking kill.
Way heavier headset if it means a significant bump in specs, and I replaced my Bigscreen Beyond 1 with the Pimax Crystal for that exact reason. This has better lenses, higher resolution, and a higher refresh rate as well. It can do 2880 by 2880 per eye at 120 hertz, which just completely blows my mind.
So it's got like 2K plus like resolution, and it's got 120 FPS plus. Okay, that's pretty cool. That's pretty good. I dig it.
What about the Bigscreen 2? Well, actually, there's no spec bump at all versus
that's
the
cute.
original. It's using the exact
Orange on
same
orange.
micro OLED displays as the Bigscreen 1, which not so much a bad thing, right? There's still 2560 by 2560 resolution per eye OLED displays.
That's pretty
You
good.
can do 75 hertz natively, or
Ooh, that's not too good.
90 hertz with some upscaling. That's still a little bump over the Quest 3 and the Valve Index, but those headsets have been out for a little while now. So yeah, in terms of specs, it actually loses to the Pimax Crystal Lite, which I reviewed a few months ago, and I mean, Pimax have some really beefy spec headsets coming out.
I mean, yeah, like holy shit, 3840 by 3840 resolution per eye. That's really sharp. Like you're coming close to that 4K, unable to tell the difference benchmark. Option to choose between QLED or micro OLED screens. Okay, I mean, okay.
Just around the corner, which I cannot wait to try. But yeah, Bigscreen Beyond 2, same specs as the original. You could assume the image quality would be about the same as well. But there, you could not be more wrong.
I love how we are refusing to give up on the gimmick of VR for gaming. I mean, remember back in the day when picture-in-picture was a thing? I mean, it's just like a normal thing on TVs, but whether or not you watch TV is a whole nother thing. And then there was like 3D glasses for like certain movies at the movie theaters. but we've been hanging on to this VR thing for a while now.
The biggest improvement on the big screen 2 are the lenses. They are absolutely incredible. They are the clearest, most comfortable lenses that I've used on any VR headset. I've run some back-to-back comparisons between this and the Quest 3, which up until
I just gotta point out, did Optimum do like a leg day right before this?
now has been in a league of its own when it comes to the optics and the lens quality, and while the focus sweet spot is similar between them, the big screen 2 actually has noticeably less chromatic aberration across the entire field of view. Looking into this headset through these lenses, I mean, it might have exploded.
This is like the best the best shot right here, like just straight on, just wham. Got to put you in the mindset of like Tron or something, or like the Matrix.
My brain, especially when you compare the size of these lenses to the giant ones on the Quest 3, it just doesn't make sense. They're clearer, they're more comfortable to look through, they have less chromatic fringing, and they even have a wider FOV.
I mean, this definitely looks like way more comfortable. This definitely looks like you can move your head around more.
Did this 992 GT3 RS mod in Assetto Corsa, I mean, deserves an award. It looks unbelievable. I can see all the textures, all the detail. It is ridiculous on the big screen too. Those optics are such a huge upgrade. I cannot overstate it enough. It's not like a small difference that I'm exaggerating. It's so
Okay, so I think this is hard to like communicate, but whenever you're showing like VR with like your head movements like and the screen with what you're seeing, it always looks like weird and jarring because your head naturally just like jiggles around and stuff, so you can see like all the jiggling, but like in real life, like you don't see all the like jiggles and micro movements that your head is doing. But from what he sees, this probably is like all fine to him. Like there's no like jiggling, but it's just like how this video is like conveyed is like I can see all the micro movements that are just like jittering up and down. I mean, it's just fine. It just comes with the territory of like showing what VR looks like, I guess.
So far beyond every other headset that I've tried, it's just pretty insane. Something else I noticed as well, switching back and forth between all of these headsets, the Pimax Crystal, the Quest 3, they are bigger, heavier headsets. I know I said it doesn't make a difference, and look, you're seated, you're not moving your head around so much. It doesn't make a difference in terms of like fatigue and the weight, for me anyway, but when it comes to the headset shifting a little bit on your face and potentially the lens becoming a little bit out of focus, that is a big difference I noticed between the big screen 2 and those larger headsets. Every now and then, the Pimax Crystal for me would just, you know, if I would move my head or look to a mirror, for example,
yeah,
it would just shift a little bit to kind of break that immersion. The big screen 2, on the other hand, not only is the focus just amazing.
That's why for the next version, you need to have like plugs built in like around your eyes. So that way, you know how like you can plug an outlet into a wall? You can just plug the glasses just like on top of your eyes. And that way, whenever you shake the shit out of your head, like doing that noise, there will be zero movement. That's what they got to do next.
All of the time through the lenses, but it's
because as you can see, all these little VR headsets, they got like bands, straps, ropes, and it's like the faster you want to move, it's like stuff jiggles, and like, yeah, it might be like relatively comfortable, but it's not like optimum. Yeah, so I think the next best thing is to literally just have like some outlets built into your like skull, like Matrix style, so that way you just have like prongs and you can just like plug. Literally, it'll be plug and play.
Is planted on your face, so no matter how much you're moving around, you're just getting that really consistent optical quality all the time. I do find myself preferring the 75 Hz mode as well. It's just higher resolution at the end of the day. The shadows have less aliasing. There's less aliasing and shimmering on these barriers here. If something looks more real, then it's going to feel more real. And that's basically my experience. The thing about refresh rates in VR as well, it's not like 75 hertz on a gaming monitor, for example, where you would flick your mouse back and forth really quickly and you would see like individual frames juddering back and forth. Here, I mean, I can shake my head really, really fast, and it feels like it's an infinite refresh rate in a way. There has to be some tricky reprojection happening here. Yeah, if I turn the wheel, I can obviously see that that is 75 hertz, 75 frames per second. You can kind of see a little bit of ghosting, and it's not as smooth as it could be. But yeah, in terms of like moving around, moving your head, which I think is actually the most important thing when it comes to refresh rate, it still feels incredibly responsive and smooth. But yeah, the FOV, noticeably wider than the Pimax Crystal, noticeably wider really than anything else that I've tested.
Like, look at that mirror.
Closest would be the Quest 3, but this to me even feels wider than that. I've also been using the audio strap accessory for most of my testing, and it's pretty decent. It plugs right into the headset, gets more than loud enough, has a pretty clean neutral sound to it. The audio quality won't blow you away like a pair of expensive in-ear IEMs, but I do think I prefer the more open sound of this. This way I can still hear my paddle shifters, my pedals, any phone notifications that come through, and it is really nice not having to worry about extra cables. I won't lie, they do feel
like, I don't know anything about like a wheel, but like, what's disp, recup, multi, start, kill, TCR? I don't know what any of this is. Like all these like lights and shit.
a little bit flimsy compared to how Pimax has done it, although it's completely intentional to have them rotating and flexible like this. They don't sound as beefy either, but yeah, one thing's for sure, they are super, super comfortable. Imperfect lenses have been the bane of VR, at least for the ones that I've tried so far. Doesn't matter how many pixels you're pumping into a headset or what the refresh rate is, if the lenses are not near perfect in terms of optical clarity and focus and, free of visual artifacts, then those specs literally don't even matter. The Bigscreen 2 fixes those imperfect lenses, and again, take a look at the form factor. It is ridiculous. Not only is it super comfortable for your face, but also for your eyes as well. I can do multiple hour stints with this thing and have zero eye fatigue whatsoever. It does actually make these much larger headsets look pretty pointless.
Oh yeah, I mean, you could stick like 2 or 3 of those little glasses like inside of that one Sandevistan looking thing.
Now that the lenses have been almost mastered, yeah, now we can start talking about high resolution and refresh rate for a Bigscreen 3, for example. More pixels could help resolve that little bit of aliasing and stair-stepping that I'm still seeing on tracks here and there, shadows and fences, for example, and a higher refresh rate will simply just be more immersive. A complete edge-to-edge FOV would be really nice as well.
Yeah.
This one is not bad, 100
Yeah, because I think the whole edge-to-edge thing is like, so like whenever you're looking at VR, like brush. So like your eyeballs, and this is gonna be like a top-down thing. Like eyeball. So like I would imagine your normal VR experience is gonna be at like some angle of something like this, like per eyeball. And then there's going to be like, and then this is going to be like where the lens ends. Like that's where the lens ends. But in real life, your eyes, like if you look left and right, can actually see like, because like you got your nose right here in the center. Your eyes can actually, like if you just use your eyeballs, and look, you can look way the fuck over there. But with like how the lenses work, the lenses can only be like so close to your eyes, right? And they would probably need like another set of lenses. So like if you want to look to your right, you actually have to like move your head, unless they figure out a way to like have like some sort of like crazy like bendable lens, or like maybe 2 lenses, but like then at that point you have to worry about like this little gap right here or something like that. I mean, I don't know how that shit works, dude, but I know, like, if I look to my right, I can see pretty far over.
16 degrees diagonally, which is much wider than the Pimax Crystal Light and quite a bit wider than the Quest 3 as well. But you still do see little black edges on your peripheral vision.
Right.
One thing is for sure though, every other branded VR headset has a lot of catching up to do. Now this video is not sponsored as usual. It's not paid promotion or anything like that. You know, I'm not taking money from companies to try and sell you a product. I honestly think that kind of stuff is pretty garbage, and it's something unfortunately you do see a lot of in the tech space as well. At the end of the day, this channel is just me testing out the latest stuff. You know, whatever arrives here at the studio, I'll test it out, and if it's better than last time, I'll make a video. If it's not, then it usually doesn't make the cut. There is a link down below to the product, of course, but even that is not an affiliate link. What I'm saying is, I understand I'm hyping up the product quite a bit, but that's only because it is a genuine, like, mind-blown experience, and even compared to the last gen, it is actually like a pretty massive leap. If you have a racing sim and you've at least got the basics covered, like a wheelbase and a good set of pedals.
I mean, honestly, this is gonna be like a niche of a niche of a niche type of thing for like this market. I mean, it's cool. Don't get me wrong, this shit's very cool, and I hope it gets better. But you gotta understand, like, this is a niche of a niche of a niche. How do you say it? Niche or niche? I've always said niche. Sounds cooler.
Then man, this has to be the next thing that you buy. Like, you will not be disappointed in the slightest.
Okay. Well, that was actually pretty baller. This guy has his own bat cave for tech. Well, yeah, dude. Translucent orange plastics were so back. Yeah. Back to the 60s or 70s or 80s with like what was that? The red boy, the red box thing with the red VR bullshit. Yeah. Optimum is so dedicated to optimal airflow. He even brought socks with holes in them to improve his personal thermals. Respect. Oh man, VR is starting to look like how we all imagined it would be. Tiny headset with amazing clarity that looks like a little pair of tech glasses. Yes. Dude with the incredible setup, but a hole in his socks and his real... Wait, I didn't see the hole.
This way I can still hear my paddle shifters.
Oh! Oh yeah. Oh, this is so funny. Let me go theater mode. Yeah, he's got a little tiny hole right there. Oh my god, that's so funny. Baller, straight baller, and rocking the Gymshark. I didn't even see that, dude. The little hole. It's whatever, dude. Yeah. Overall, VR is coming along. It's getting better. Because, you know, when one company starts to progress, the rest of them start to progress. It's only a matter of time before these things are like little like sunglasses. You know, we are getting closer. As far as like me buying one, I'm not buying one of these things. Like, I mean, maybe if I won the lotto and decided to have like a racing sim interest, I mean, yeah, sure. But, overall, very cool, and I definitely appreciate the little tech breakdown to, you know, see how VR is coming along. Very cool. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me. I'll catch you guys on the next one. All right, later.